Hey everyone, my name is Seth Yelorda and I'm a leadership and life coach. I work with organizations and individuals helping them to succeed at the goals that they set for themselves. And I'm excited to dive into today's episode. I want to share with you something that I believe is really foundational to how I approach leadership and leadership coaching. There is a book written by Jason Jaggard, and what he says in this book is called Beyond High Performance. What he says in this book is that there are a set of assumptions that most leaders have. There's actually two assumptions that most leaders have. The first is that the average leader underestimates what they are really capable of. And number two, the average leader underestimates what their team is capable of. And I have found that to be so true, both in my own life and in the individuals and organizations that I coach and consult with. A lot of times we play it safe. We don't want to really pursue those big, hairy, audacious goals for a couple of reasons. I think the main one being that we just feel like we're not able to. We feel like we're not capable of pursuing those big, hairy, audacious goals. But what I've discovered is that if you can shift your thinking, you can actually achieve so much more than what you believe is possible. In a keynote that I recently delivered in Kentucky to a group of leaders, I shared with them this illustration about a water bottle. I actually want to play just a short clip of that keynote for you here. Check it out.
This bottle here is 16.9 fluid ounces. It has the capacity to hold 16.9 fluid ounces of water or some type of drink. That's this bottle's capacity. Now I can take this bottle and I can crush this bottle, and now this same bottle, which 2 seconds ago was able to hold 16.9, can no longer hold 16.9. In its current state, this bottle can probably only hold like 3 or 4 fluid ounces because its capacity has diminished. And when I think about you and me, are we living up to our full capacity? Or have we allowed circumstances and situations to crush our soul, diminish our belief in our ability to lead courageously, lovingly? Have we allowed the circumstances and situations that we find ourselves in to get us to diminish our capacity? And what I want to say to you is that this bottle still has the capability to hold more water than what it is currently able to hold in this state. You see, ability is based off of past experiences. So based off of the past experience this bottle just went through of me crushing it, now it only has the ability to hold a few fluid ounces. But it has the capability of holding so much more because capability is based on potential.
So I really believe that illustration is one that resonates with a lot of people, this idea of a water bottle and really helping you to understand the difference between your capability, your ability, and your capacity. And what I have discovered is that leaders have a lot more capacity than they think they have, and that leaders are capable of accomplishing so much more than what they think they're capable of accomplishing. The challenge is that we run into mental roadblocks. The challenge is that we take some past failures that we have experienced and we bring those failures into our present and we project them into our future. So because we believe that we have failed once, we will fail again. But that's not true. It doesn't have to be true. But that you as a leader, you can actually achieve so much more than what you believe you're capable of. And I think the way that you do that is you have to understand this concept called the intuitive fence. And I want to introduce that to you now. You see, the intuitive fence is actually a psychological construct in your mind that is erected around the goals that you believe you are capable of accomplishing. So let's just imagine a circle, and in the center of the circle is what you believe is possible. And the outer edges of that circle represent your intuitive fence. Now, the reason why we call it intuitive fence is because it's based on your intuition. Your intuition is a feeling. Your intuition is not a fact. It's not hard data. It's not science. It's just a feeling that you have, a sixth sense that you have. You might have a feeling that you shouldn't walk down this alley at 2:00 in the morning. That's probably wise. There's no facts to say that if you walk down that alley, you're going to be jumped or accosted or taken advantage of. No, it's just a feeling. And your intuition and these feelings have largely served you all of your life. They are there to keep you safe, to protect you from being hurt, harmed, or in danger. And that's what we want from our intuition. We want our intuition to protect us. And yet, while it is trying to protect you, your intuition will also prevent you from achieving big, hairy, audacious goals. Because those big goals often require you to step outside of your comfort zone, outside of your intuitive fence, and do those things, pursue those things that you might feel are impossible for you to pursue. And so imagine again this circle, this intuitive fence, and at the center of the circle is what you believe is possible. But the closer you get to the edge of that circle is where you start to feel as though things are improbable. And then when you step outside of the circle, you start to enter into the realm of the impossible. Now, let's just use an example of, let's say, weight loss. Let's say, for example, you want to lose 10, 15 pounds. Well, you might think, and your intuitive fence might say, it's possible for you to lose 10, 15 pounds. And so as long as that goal is within inside of the intuitive fence, you can do it. But if you were to say to yourself, man, I want to lose 30 pounds and I want to lose 30 pounds in, let's say, 2 months. Well, I'm not sure if that's possible. And so that would be on the edge of your intuitive fence. Now, let's say if you said, I want to lose 60 pounds in 3 months, that's 20 pounds a month. That might be impossible for you. And so that is outside of your intuitive fence. Another example is you might say, I want to run a 5K or a 10K. Okay, if you've never run before, then running a 5K or a 10K within the next 30 days, that might be possible. But if you said you want to run a marathon or a half marathon in 30 days, that might feel improbable. If you said you want to run an ultra marathon, which is like 100 miles in the next 30 days, that might just be impossible. And so your intuitive fence really helps you determine what goals you're setting for yourself are actually possible for you to achieve and what goals you might set for yourself that are impossible for you to achieve. The challenge with this is that for you to live up to your best, brightest, most capable self, for you to do the things that are really on your heart to do, you're going to have to step outside of your intuitive fence and actually do those things which are impossible. Now, the challenge with this is that I don't believe that you can live outside of your intuition. It's always there. It's always going to be a buffer, a force trying to rein you in. And if you step outside of your intuition, you're going to feel uncertain. You're going to start to maybe experience some anxiety, some fear, some nervousness, and your emotions, your psychological emotions won't let you actually go after that goal. So I don't want you to step outside of your intuitive fence. The key is to expand your intuitive fence so that the things that once felt impossible now actually seem reasonable. So the question you have to ask yourself is, how do I expand my intuitive fence? How do I say to myself, hey, running an ultra marathon in 30 days, even though I've never run before, that might actually be possible. Now, I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm not suggesting that should be your goal, but I'm just using that as an illustration because some of you all have some crazy goals, some crazy big goals. There's some things that you want to do for yourself and do with your team and your organization, but you're not doing it because of fear, because of uncertainty, and simply because you don't believe it's possible to do. But I want to show you how you can actually change your relationship to those impossible goals so that they no longer feel impossible, but they actually feel reasonable. So the way that you expand your intuitive fence is through an acronym that I heard from Dan Sullivan. He says that you must increase how much cash you have. That your intuitive fence, how big or how small your intuitive fence, is all determined by how much cash you have. Not C-A-S-H, but K-A.S.H. Your knowledge, your attitude, your skills, your habits. So if you want to go after that impossible goal and you want to expand your intuitive fence so that you no longer experience fear or anxiety about doing it, then you have to ask yourself, what do I need to know? What attitude do I need to have? What skills do I need to develop? What habits must I form? Cash. Everything you have ever accomplished in life is based on how much cash you have. And everything you have not accomplished in life is based on a deficit of cash. So let me use another example. The difference between me and Steph Curry, right? He's, I think, around 6'2", 6'3". I'm around 6'1", 6'2". I think we're about the similar frame, similar build. He might be a little bit taller. The difference between me and Steph Curry as it relates to the NBA is he has more cash than me. He has more knowledge than me as it relates to playing in the NBA. His attitude is different than mine as it relates to playing in the NBA. He has more skills and he has different habits. He has the skills and habits required to succeed in the NBA at a high level. The difference between him and I is simply the amount of cash he has. Now, I can say, well, I am a phenomenal organizational development consultant. I'm a phenomenal life and leadership coach. I don't know how well Steph Curry is at leadership coaching and life coaching. So I can say, as it relates to consulting organizations, consulting and coaching leaders, I have more cash than he has. I have more knowledge around how to do it effectively. My attitude about it is different. My skills and the habits that I have developed in order to coach at a high level are different and are higher and are more than what he has. And so while he might have more cash than me that allows him to excel in the NBA, I might have more cash than him, which has allowed me to excel as a coach. So everything that we accomplish and everything that we don't accomplish doesn't come down to luck or fortune or the alignment of the stars or the universe. It all comes down to how much cash you have. So if you want to accomplish more and achieve more, you have to, number one, increase your intuitive fence so that those impossible goals actually feel like they are achievable. And then you have to increase the amount of cash you have. What do I need to know and who do I need to know? What attitude do I need to have? What skills and what habits must I form? Everything comes down to cash. So as you are thinking about a goal that you want to go after, I want to encourage you to increase the goal, go bigger, go stronger, go harder with that goal, increase your intuitive fence, expand your intuitive fence by increasing how much cash. Ask yourself those 4 questions. What and who do I need to know? What attitude do I need to have? What skills must I develop? What habits must I form? And if you can increase your cash, you can achieve those impossible goals. Listen, I hope that this episode was helpful for you. I really want to just encourage you as a leader and as an individual that there is nothing you cannot accomplish. It all comes down to how much cash you have. I would love for you to reach out if you want personal one-on-one coaching, if you want to really dive into how you can increase your cash. Send me a message on YouTube or on Instagram. Let's connect. We can even schedule a one-on-one session where I can work with you. I would love to work with you to help you grow in the areas that you need to grow so that you can achieve your impossible vision. Have a great day. Peace.